כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא תהילות אוסף אל נורא תהילות אוסף אל
Oh, where's this song?
Also, I don't have. It's possible it may not be there.
No, we've totally done it before, and it is.
We're gonna do that.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
This is like our first time doing this.
I just feel like it's been a while. It's
Have
funny.
we done this before?
Welcome to Temple Israel. We're so glad you could be here with us this morning as we celebrate Shabbat together. So we are gonna do this this one. Let's do this one for fun. Yes. All right. So let's start with a little song to get us in the mood. It is on page 11, second one up from the bottom. Ki Eshmer Shabbat. So when I keep Shabbat, God watches over me. It is a sign forever between God and me. Ki Eshmer Shabbat El Yishmereini. Ki Eshmer Shabbat El Yishmereini. Oti leomeyad beino veini. Oti leomeyad beino veini. All right, that was like pretty good, but I could only see two people singing, which makes me so sad inside. So let's try it one more time. I know, it's a little disappointing. So let's try it one more time. Even if you're just doing the first part, Ki Eshmer Shabbat, that would be a good start. Let's just see. Ki Eshmer Shabbat El Yishmereini. Ki Eshmer Shabbat El Yishmereini. Oti leomeyad beino veini. Oti leomeyad beino veini. Beautiful. All right, we are going to get there, my friends. So Tonight, I know that people come here for all different reasons. Some of us are here because we are just here celebrating Shabbat together. Others are here because we are honoring a simcha in our lives. Others are here because it's a time for sadness. Others are here because it is finally the first warm Friday night in so long, and it just feels like the whole world is opening back up again, and it makes you want to sing and be with people. So that's at least how I feel. So we're going to do a lot of that tonight. But one of the simchas that we're celebrating is that Zach is becoming bar mitzvah tomorrow. So it is my pleasure to invite up Zach and his family to help lead us in our blessings that can be found on page 2. And Eli and Nikki have offered to do a musical solo for us. Just kidding, not. They told me they would not be singing at all. Don't worry about it. All right, page 2, you are allowed to just say it if you want to, or Benj will sing. Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. All right, Zach, how about if you lift that Kiddush cup for us? Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. All right, Eli, you want to take the cover off? Utzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Someone want to take a bite? Just a little bit. Thank you. So one of the ways that we bring in Shabbat each week on page 24 is we imagine that there are angels coming into our midst. Angels coming to help us recognize that this Shabbat is a special time unlike any other day of the week. And so we welcome those Shabbat angels in with the words of Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharit, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, mi melech, malachei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Seidchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, mi melech, malachei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. On the bottom of 27, it reads, entrances to holiness are everywhere. And the possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence. And so we invite you now to rise, if you will, on page 28 as we call each other to worship with the words of the Baruch Hu. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. We read together on the bottom of 31. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. On the top of 33, as you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. And we join in Shema on page 34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam B'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha, uv'shortam la'ot al yadecha, v'hayu l'totafot bein einecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uv'isharecha, leman tizkeru, Vasitem et kol mitzvotai, vitem kadoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. On 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together, and singing the song that our ancestors sang as they marched from slavery to freedom. Micha Mocha. Micha Mocha, Bailim Adonai, Micha Mocha, Nedor Bakodesh, Norati Lot, Osei Fele, Norati Lot, Osei our evening services, it is our tradition after we sing Micha Mocha to follow it with the words of Hashkivenu on page 42. And you'd think that for as long as Rabbi Michael and I have been doing this, that I would remember to print out the English words, but I never do. So we will do our best. If you know the English words, join with us on those. Otherwise, you can join with us in the Hebrew, and I'll try to call them out to you. But the idea is really just that we are thanking God for spreading a shelter of peace over us wherever we may go. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings. Shelter us beneath thy wings. Oh Adonai, guard us from harmful things. Guard us from all harmful things. Oh Adonai, keep us safe. Keep us safe throughout the night till we wake. Till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. On page 45, it says, "We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time." It's because of that when we begin Tefillah on page 46, we start by saying the words that remind us of the matriarchs and the patriarchs. We thank God, who is the God of Abraham and Isaac, of Jacob, of Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, reminding us that God has been with us in every generation, but so too, just as God had a different relationship with each of them, so too we can relate to God in our own unique ways. So I'll invite you, if you will, to please rise now on page 46, and we'll say those words of Tefillah, offering up the names of the Avot v'Imahot. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agita yilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakom, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Ba'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Mechakeh chayim b'chesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim v'ofech olim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umido melech, melech mimid, Umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, le'aman atal hachayot hakom. Baruch atah Adonai, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלם. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated.
May these hours of rest
55.
and renewal on page 55 open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its purpose.
Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. On page 61 at the top, we read together, Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocates among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. So we're going to turn in our Sidurim and our prayer books now all the way to page 253. At this time, we take a few moments to think of those in our community who are in need of healing prayers. So if there's someone who you're thinking of at this time, someone who could use healing of mind or body or spirit and who would be grateful knowing that their names were shared in this place, I would invite you to share them at this time. We're thinking too tonight of Eric Ash and Carl Greenberg, of Nathan Levinson and Drew Patchen, of Joanne Phillips and Marilyn Schlitter and Nancy Seidel. We're thinking of Kennedy Smith, Harriet Snyder, and Lacey Weinstein. So thinking of each of them and all those who we keep in our hearts, we turn to the words of the Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor Abracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor Bracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Oseh shalom bimroma, ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Say shalom bimromav, uya say shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, uya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen.
In a few days, really actually starting today, starting this morning, our children and grandchildren begin parading around the building. In a little bit, they're going to be standing here on this bima, acting out the Purim spiel. Purim has always been a sweet and meaningful time for us. Our kids parade around in costumes, they sing songs and eat special cookies. We have a carnival for them. Go to the carnival, make sure you go to the carnival. The adults are supposed to read the Megillah. And in it we remember that our enemies once tried to destroy us, but they failed. This is the fairy tale version of Purim that most of us know and that we love. But there is a second, darker version of Purim. It's actually the story in the book of Esther. It's really the scroll itself. And it's a version that we would rather drink in excess than hear. It's a version so dark we would rather shout it down and drown out its words with noisemakers than remember the whole thing in its entirety. This past week, I was very fortunate. I was able to return from a rabbinic solidarity mission to Israel, specifically to the north of Israel. And as my group traveled from place to place, we encountered a new dimension of Purim that I had never known before. Over the radio, we listened as the Biba's funeral was broadcast. In Israel, costumes are for sale in the shops. And those special cookies, we call them hamantashen. In Hebrew, it's oznei Haman. But I like hamantashen. The hamantashen are being sold in elegant bakeries along the tree-lined streets of Tel Aviv. But there's still a chill in the air. Winter has not gone totally away, even in Tel Aviv, where it is sunny mostly. There is a heaviness there. In Israel, their celebration of Purim has gone on for the last year and a half. Shushan is not just an imaginary place to them. It is now called Iran, and the emissaries of Shushan have been knocking on the doorstep of Israel. In their dark voice, they proclaim that the Purim story is not fully written. Every night in Israel over the last few weeks, we have seen Haman, parading on a decorated stage in Gaza with thousands of henchmen by his side. Haman, in the guise of a Hamas uniform, is joined on both sides by little girls in dresses and little boys in military fatigues. Behind him, his caste is armed with weapons stolen from Israeli military bases that were overtaken on October 7th. There is music and candy is passed out. And then there is Haman's grand finale. In front of thousands of screaming men, women, and children, as a wicked and joyous entertainment. This week's or that week's few remaining Jews are brought out, emaciated, tortured, near death, and the cameras are rolling. Thus our people are paraded with Haman and his entourage, waving and saluting. In Israel, they are not preparing to celebrate Purim. The orange balloons in every storefront, the yellow ribbons on every tree and car, they're a reminder to us that today will be for them day 515 of a Purim spiel whose end has yet to come. Now, the real story of Purim is frightening. But I want to remind everyone, and it's very important to do so, that it ends in rejoicing. We are a strong and resourceful people, and I saw that. I saw it in so many people. And we will win this war. Our hostages will be brought home. And all of you who are here tonight, and you who are watching, you have a part to play as well in this. We need to support Israeli businesses and click on them online or wherever we can access them. We need to support the IDF and the families of those who serve in it. We need to divest from and pull our students out of the classrooms of any university that supports anti-Semitic rhetoric from its faculty or its students. Our Purim story will end with light and joy and Jewish security, just like the scroll says. La Yehudim hayta ora v'simcha v'sason v'yikar. At the end, the Jews enjoyed light and gladness, happiness and honor. I met a baker in the Levinsky market. He was selling hamantashen. Most people, he said, all they care about is Passover, Pesach, and those terrible foods. Worst of all, matzah. People are obsessed, he went on. They promise, they swear, I kept kosher, I ate only matzah. It's disgusting, he said to me. Rabbi, when you get home, remind them that eating hamantashen on Purim is more important this year than eating matzah on Pesach. Shabbat Shalom.
So those words that Rabbi Michael mentioned from the Esther story can be found on page 336 at the bottom, La Yehudim. La Yehudim, Haitza'ora, V'simcha, V'sason, V'ikar. La Yehudim, Haitza'ora, V'sason, V'ikar. Kain Tieh Lanu. Kain Tieh Lanu, Tieh Lanu, Tieh Lanu, Tieh Lanu. That means yes, it should be so. Kain Tieh Lanu, Tieh Lanu, Tieh Lanu. La Yehudim, La Yehudim, Haitza'ora, V'simcha, V'sason, V'ikar. La Yehudim, Haitza'ora, Hayta'ora, v'simcha, v'sason, v'ikar. So along those lines, we should tell you that there's a lot of Purim coming here at Temple Israel. Purim is a holiday so fun that we like to spread it over more than just one day. We like to spread it over a whole week. So if you are interested in celebrating Purim with us and having some of this experience of light and joy and gladness, our Purim spiel, as Rabbi Michael was talking about.
Do people get the cookie?
You do. You will get
You
some
get- okay.
Hamantaschen. So the Purim
Gotta get the
spiel
cookie.
is on Sunday. That is a Purim play that our little ones put on. It is adorable. It is not that long, which makes it even cuter. So you're more than welcome to come to that. And then there is a Purim carnival afterwards, and there will be Hamantaschen and all sorts of fun. That is definitely a family-focused event. So while everyone is welcome, it is very sort of child-oriented. And then next Friday at services, we are going to, during service, we are going to read probably not the whole Megillah,
Not the whole Megillah,
but most of
but
the
a-
Megillah.
yeah.
We will read the Megillah during services, and we'll have more Hamantaschen then, and a little more of an adult experience. So we hope that you will join us for that. And even though it is not exactly Torah, it is Tanakh, so close enough. We also want to remind you that the Friday nights in April after services, Rabbi Michael is going to be teaching an Intro to Torah class. So if you leave services and you need a little more Torah, then we hope that you will join him there. And at that, I'm going to ask you, if you will, to please rise. And we'll turn to the Aleinu on page 282. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקינו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. On page 287, may we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. So even in the month of Adar, this month of rejoicing, we know that there are many of us who are here tonight or who are watching from home who are honoring a loss in their life. And so we recall with love the names of those taken from us in recent days, and our hearts go out to their families in sympathy as we recall their names, Bill Alvarneria and Sarah Jane Freeman. And we now recall the names of those, the anniversary of whose death occurs on this Shabbat, and whose names have been inscribed in the archives of our congregation or on the wall of honor for perpetual memorial. David Eisenfeld, Molly Eisenfeld, Helen Kinsman-Bear, Jack Bach, Nathan C. Berger, Hattie Bierman, Lois Lee Bierman, Joseph J. Brahman, Rose Brandt, Mindell Bamberger Surf, Emmanuel M. Cole, Jacob Krohn, Erna Deutsch, Mildred Potlitzer Eckert, Mark Aaron Edison, Jacob H. Epstein, Hilda Rose Fastman, Eugene Fine, Jacob S. Fink, Ben J. Franklin, Jeannie Gerstein, Robert C. Gordon, Nathan Greenberg, Mac J. Grossman, Marcus Harris, Aaron Hendon, Rabbi Ferdinand M. Isserman, Stanley Jacobs, Dr. Ernst Jonas, Sidney Kelter, Leon Clearman, Bessie Bramowith-Coleman, Francis Krause, Barry Krem, Michael Cutton, Dorothy Lending, Max Levis, Gertrude Levy, Harold E. Lewin, Joseph Manny, Edith Mannheimer, Natalie Melman, Hannah Meyer, Rosa Meyer, Helen Miller, Benjamin Muskin, Shirley Adis Platt, Saul Righteous, Ben Resnikoff, Charles S. Rice, Anna Rosenblum, Saul L. Rubin, Wallace Renard Ruich, Joseph D. Schaefer, Rose N. Schosch, Avery Shermer, Augusta Schoenstatt, Leon J. Schwab Sr., Louis Schwartz, Malvern A. Schweig, Frank E. Sclair, Louis J. Silverman, Mary Helen Silverman, Ralph Silverman, Gay Beth Katz Skoback, Milton Spector, Harold M. Stern, Aaron Waldheim, Mary S. Weil, Louis Weinstein, Bertha Wildman, Second Lieutenant David P. Wool Jr., who died in the service of our country, Minnie Mayer Wolfheim, Bella Wolf, Charles H. Yalem, Dr. Hillard A. Young, and Edith Yudkin Zweig. So with each of these names and the names we keep in our hearts, we turn to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ba'alma divarach chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv emru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mavarach la'alam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata ta'amiran ba'alma v'emru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'emru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'emru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And we say, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen. Please be seated. So, a time where it seems like there's so much work to be done in repairing our world, it's always important to remember that, in fact, sometimes we do win in the end, and we can do the work ourselves of making that happen. So our closing song is going to be Olam Chesed Yibaneh, maybe with a capo. And the words are very simple. Olam Chesed Yibaneh.
They know services, right?
Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yalalai, lai, lai, yalalai, lai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yalalai, 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 lai. I will build this world. I will build this world from love. Yadadai, 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 and you will build this world from love. Yadadai, 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 and if we build this world from love, yadadai, 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 then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Shabbat shalom, and if you